What's going on YouTube? So in this video I'm going to show you what I eat in a day to stay fit all year round and to maximize my health while eating a more raw primal style diet. Nothing fancy, just real food. So let's get into it. I usually wake up around 8 AM and for breakfast it's honestly pretty much the same every day and very simple. I've never really been super hungry in the morning, so I like to keep my first meal smaller but still nutrient dense, something that gives me energy right away. So I usually make myself some sunny side up eggs with a bit of fruit and some coconut water to hydrate first thing in the morning. I always cook my eggs on low heat using a stainless steel pan. And that's really important to me because I don't want any chemicals or heavy metals from non-stick pans like Teflon. And before the eggs go in, I just add some butter to the pan. While the eggs are cooking, I cut up some fruit. Right now in winter I mostly go for oranges or mandarins, whatever I have at home. And I usually add half an avocado as well. And once the eggs are done, I let them cool down slightly and I grate some raw milk cheese on top. And that's it, my first meal is ready. It's a perfect way to start the day, gives me energy, protein, fats and all the essential nutrients my body needs. And most of the time I also drink some raw milk with it, but this day was almost empty, so not much left. The whole meal takes maybe 10 minutes to make, quick, easy and also effective. At around 1 PM I usually have my second meal of the day. This one really depends on what I have at home, but most of the time it's some kind of meat with a side. So this day I still had steak, so I made myself a steak bowl. First I cut up some sweet potatoes, seasoned them with olive oil, salt and also some herbs and then throw them into the oven. While those are cooking I get the steak ready. Again, stainless steel pan, this time with a bit higher heat and some butter so the steak gets a nice crust. I only seared briefly on both sides. I want it to stay nice and raw on the inside. We don't want a completely overcooked steak with all the nutrients destroyed. And while the steak is resting I make some simple guacamole, just avocado, a bit of lemon juice and I add some seasonings. At the end I just combine everything, sweet potatoes first, then the sliced steak on top, still nice and undercooked, and the guacamole as a topping. It tastes amazing, it gives my body everything it needs and it's done in about 20 minutes, super simple. And with that meal I also had a glass of raw milk. And after that meal I usually head to the gym in the afternoon. Even with this kind of diet, training is still very important. Nutrition is definitely more important than training, but if you don't just want to be healthy but also look good, you still have to put in the work in the gym. And I usually train for about an hour. And dinner is usually around 7 PM. This time I made myself some steak tartare. I always keep some meat in the freezer and let it thaw slowly in the fridge whenever I know I'm in the mood for it. I cut the steak into small cubes. If you wanted to make it easier, you can use filet, because then you don't really have to trim any fat. And when I do trim fat, I usually just give it to my dog. And once the meat is finely chopped, I put it into a bowl. Then I cut up some pickles. They go perfectly with steak tartare and add them in. For seasoning I use olive oil, salt and also some pepper, and then I grate some cheese on top. And now the most important part, the raw egg yolks. They really take the whole thing to another level. I always struggle a bit separating the yolks from the whites, but it's worth it. And lastly I add some butter just to make it the ultimate high fat meal. On the side I usually eat some sourdough bread, very traditional German style, almost like met with bread. And of course raw milk again. And that's pretty much what I eat almost every day, very similar to this. It doesn't get boring, it's not strict and it's definitely not an eating disorder. I just know what my food gives me, energy, it supports my body the way it's supposed to. Of course food should taste good, but at the end of the day its main job is to give your body all the building blocks it needs to function properly. And with this way of eating I fix my acne, I build my body and honestly feel better than ever. And at the end of the day everyone can decide for themselves what they want to do. But I can generally recommend this approach from my own experience. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content and check out my Instagram linked in the bio for more daily stuff. I'll see you in the next video, take care.